Investing, even in the best of times, is a pretty challenging proposition. But a growing group of investors are finding that using their hearts as well as their heads can lead to success. One advisor who is deeply committed to what is called socially responsible investing is Judy Seid. She heads up the Blue Summit Financial Group in La Mesa and was recently honored as the Small Business Administration Woman Business Owner of the Year. Judy, welcome to the program.
Thank you so much, George, for having me.
And congratulations on the award.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that.
All right. I want you to give me an overview of SRI, socially responsible investing. Kind of describe it for our listeners.
All right. Socially responsible investing is not new. It's been around for many, many years. It started in the 16 and 1700s with religious organizations not wanting to invest their money in things that they didn't agree with. However, in more recent years, we've incorporated many other issues into the screening of responsible investments. So socially responsible investing incorporates screening out companies that don't fit your criteria, screening in companies that do fit your criteria, deploying shareholder activism or the power of the ownership of shares to change corporate policy by the filing of shareholder resolutions, and also community investing. So there's three kind of legs to socially responsible investing: the screening, the shareholder activism, and the community investing portion.
We'll go through that a little bit more, but I want to kind of talk about some of the things that have popped up recently and kind of broke down some of the SRI categories, socially responsible areas that deal with the environment. And I know that's a concern because a lot of companies say that they're very green and socially responsible, but how do you really know that?
Well, that's a great question. Greenwashing is a problem. Companies now, it's chic to be green.
For sure.
And it didn't used to be, now it is, so everybody wants to say they're green. In socially responsible investing, you know, it's an enormous opportunity because of the alternative investments and alternative energy. We have a new regulatory landscape which is encouraging companies to lower their carbon footprint, and this is a great opportunity for investors in today's landscape.
But make sure they're really doing it, not just say they're doing it, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. The companies that we work with, that we place money into for our clients, are doing research on what's happening inside the company and what are the actual green policies and practices.
Let's deal with some of the other areas. We went from environmental. Let's talk a little bit about social screening, because that really takes in a tremendous number of categories, doesn't it?
Absolutely. There was a big push in the early 90s for the pullout of portfolios from tobacco stocks, for example. Before that, it was anti-apartheid, so pulling out from South Africa. And those were two big success stories, which really changed a lot of corporate America and what they did. Now it's environmental issues is the big push. We also, of course, have social governance issues because the financial crisis and the market crisis. There was a lot of unregulated, stuff going on in corporations that was really bad for all of the investors, and so everybody's got a keen eye on that now, which is a warning that SRI investors have been, been making for years. Hey, you know, we need to pay attention to what's going on inside of the boards of directors of corporate America. We can't just agree with everything that they are touting. A lot of it's
and that leads to the whole thing of corporate governance as another big part of this, and I think it's probably the newest of the SRI activities, isn't it?
Absolutely. Since the fall of Enron and all of the accounting scandals, we've seen corporate governance become one of the very major issues, probably right alongside the green issues. In fact, there was a recent report and a recent article in the Wall Street Journal that there's a large group of institutional investors that have signed on to request the SEC to incorporate ESG factors, environmental, social, and governance factors, into their review of investments. And that's really big news. That incorporates billions of dollars under management that's behind this push. There was actually a legal document, there was legal research that was done stating that it potentially could lead to investor lawsuits if that isn't done.
You're a certified financial planner, but more than that, who specializes in SRI. You've really changed your life as a result of what you've done. Give me a couple quick examples.
All right. Well, what I can say is I've been in this industry for 15 years. And before I got into socially responsible investing, I was recycling. I separated out all the newspaper and the bottles and the cans before there was mandatory recycling. So I was always interested in the environment. I'm an outdoors enthusiast.
Okay.
And now I would say, you know, I've done a number of things. I do ride my bike to work. A lot of times I have solar electric panels on my roof that I installed about 5 years ago. So we do try to practice what we preach.
As well you should. And you're doing a great job. Thanks so much for taking some time to be with us. I think we've introduced a lot of folks to something new.